Welcome to 5 Things You Need to Know for Tokyo 2020. My name is Ken Hanscom, and each week I take you through the top stories around everything happening for Tokyo 2020. As a quick note, you'll find all the links to the stories and the articles that I talk about in the description down below. So if you were looking for more information, it's an easy way to dig deeper. These are the top stories for the week ending August 7th, 2020. And here's number 1. Hotels. Hotels are often the most difficult aspect of planning for any fan's experience for the Tokyo 2020 or any other Olympic Games. I know I spent quite a bit of time in the last year figuring out the place that I would have, which would have been this past couple of weeks in Tokyo for the Summer Games. Now as we enter a new year, but basically what we're now starting to see is certain hotels come available. And this week we got a great surprise. On the Marriott website this week, it shows not only rooms available for points, but at a very reasonable price, both at the Tokyo Marriott as well as the Tokyo Station Courtyard. 2 hotels for less than $300 a night and also available on points if you want them. Continue checking sites like Hilton, IHG, and others, as you might find some nice surprises as well. Neither Hilton nor IHG had hotel rooms available this week, but you don't know. This time of year is where you often find some really great surprises in your search. If you're not looking for a major brand, well, depending on whether you go through Airbnb or MyStays or another type of portal, the variations in terms of timing, in terms of availability, will continue to fluctuate over the coming weeks and months. If you don't find something today, be patient, keep looking. You'll eventually find what you're looking for. And now on to number 2. We've now reached a point where you can start using your award miles if you want to, and you can find the right flights to book your trip to Tokyo 2020. Now the actual booking windows vary from airline to airline, and most of the standard bookings won't happen until roughly 330 days or 11 months. So we basically have a couple of weeks until that's available, but some airlines are already accepting award mile bookings for whether it's regular or business or premium cabin classes. For example, British Airways, you can book up to 360 days in advance if you call, while the published online is roughly 355 days. So if you are looking to go to Tokyo 2020, leveraging your award miles, now is the time where you really need to start looking. And now on to number 3. Asics had a pretty cool announcement this week. They announced a new line or additional line of Tokyo 2020 footwear as part of their licensing for the Tokyo 2020 Games. I know I personally have my eyes on the gel PTGs and trying to figure out a way that I can get them. One complicating factor that you might find is that they may only be available in Japan. Because of licensing agreements in the past, things that were produced for a specific country for a specific event like Tokyo 2020, Rio 2016 were only available into that country because of licensing. So keep your eyes out. Maybe we get lucky, maybe it shows up on the global site, but otherwise you're going to have to keep your eyes on either a Visit or the Japan side to potentially score your Asics footwear. Now on to number 4. Everyone wants a Tokyo 2020 Olympic medal, don't they? Of course we all do, but you have to be very, very careful how you go about it doing that, because unless you're an Olympic athlete who's going to compete at the world's largest stage and win a medal, you're basically looking at counterfeit medals. And what we have here is a story from this week where a gentleman imported a number of medals from China in Japan and started selling them on an open market to be able to make a little bit of money on the side. Small dollar amounts, $30, $40, as low as $15 I think for the bronze medals, and sold roughly $5,000 of merchandise, but was arrested for that, right? These items are not licensed, they're illegal, and be very, very careful in terms of what you encounter in terms of these types of counterfeit, unlicensed products. Now on to number 5. Last Friday we talked about how it was the last day that if you were looking to get refunds or your tickets or packages for Tokyo 2020, it was your last day to apply. Since that point in time, Cosport has announced that individual ticket sales are now going to be stopped until September 8th at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Now what's the reason for this? Well, the reason this happens is, as you know, particular sets of tickets and packages are returned, what Cosport needs to do is now figure out how exactly are they going to sell those. Are they going to create additional packages? Can they create partial packages? What's the availability of hotel rooms versus hospitality versus some of those other items? So package sales as well as hospitality sales are still happening, but in the meantime, there's no individual ticket sales. And then come September 8th, we'll see what's available on the market. Will opening ceremony tickets be out there? Probably not, but we might find some other gems that many people are looking for. So that's it for this week on 5 things to know for Tokyo 2020. I hope you enjoyed this week's edition. Please subscribe below. See you next week.